Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Love and Light Show, where we're talking about the elevation effect. So I'm super excited to be hosting with your special guest, Lashanna Ross, and we're talking about rebranding, what you can do to redefine success, and also the miracle mindset detox. So I'm super excited for today's episode and to be sharing it with you guys. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing? How are you doing, Lashanna?
Oh, I am doing great. I thought you were talking to the audience. I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here and share this with everyone, and can't wait to jump in and help everyone figure out how to redefine success.
Yes, me too. And no worries. Sometimes I like switch it up to be like saying hi first or sharing hi to the audience first. I kind of just go with my flow.
There you go. That's what life is all about. Just roll with it. That's what I try to do.
Awesome. And this is the Love and Light Show, where every Wednesday and Friday at 1 Atlantic, 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific, we bring you different light workers and coaches and heart-centered entrepreneurs who are supporting you on your healing journey so you can have your next best step to be a better and brighter version of yourself, so we can all show up as a more loving version of ourselves for ourselves, first and foremost, and then for others in the world, so we can be that change that we're desiring to see in the world. And I'm Laura McPhee. I'm a joyful goddess, a speaker, healer, and coach, and I absolutely love supporting women and getting to their dream lives now so that we can fully, completely enjoy it and not be putting off our happiness and our success and our joy and our pleasure off into the future and be like, when, and then keep moving that milestone ahead, that we can literally take the time right now in our lives to clear and release limiting beliefs and the stories that have been holding us back, that we're not good enough or pretty enough or smart enough or sexy enough or whatever blank enough, so that you can move forward and fill yourself up with unconditional love and overflow your cup with self-care and show up as a higher and better version of yourself, first and foremost, again, for yourself, and then so you can be that change that you want to see in your world. And one of the ways that I'm absolutely loving doing that this month is a co-collaboration that I'm doing with the beautiful Christine Cliff. We're doing a heart and soul sexual healing experience.
Ooh.
So when I was doing the From Broken to Blissful 3-month program, there were lovely ladies who were interested in it, but they weren't quite ready on their journey to do like the deep dive of 3 months. So this was kind of like the bridge that was created for them so that they can have a 2-hour experience where they can clear and release and let go through theta healing all the subconscious blocks and barriers and walls and protection that they've accumulated over their life, where they were hurt or violated or felt unsafe or had unfortunate things happen to them, where they're now ready to let those go and release it so that they can receive more love and be a brighter light for themselves and to connect with more love and abundance and bliss and more awesome adventures with beautiful soul partners in your life, so you can be more open to receiving that unconditional love. So I'm so excited for that. I'll be sure to put the comment in below after so that you guys can check out that awesome event that we're doing. We're doing it on this Saturday in Fredericton in person. I haven't done an in-person event in a really long time, so I'm so excited for like in-person hugs again. And we're also going to be doing it for all my online loves in a couple weeks as well. So I'll be sure to put all those details in the comments below. And I see that more people are joining us live, so definitely say hi as you join us live. We're on the Be Live platform, so we can't see you as you jump on. You have to say a hi so we can actually know that you're here. And definitely say hi if you're catching the replay too. And feel free to share this out to any friends or loves in your life that need to like rebrand and redefine success in their life so they can move forward and be that bright, shining light. So I'm so excited for our guest today. She's a miracle igniter and lifestyle architect. So I'm so excited for you to share what that is with everyone else. I love that title so much, and how you help all the wonderful people in your world.
Well, I had to go through a similar process that I now help women go through. I had to learn how to redefine success, and as that process unfolded for me, and I became more in alignment with who I am and what my purpose was, which is to serve women in this way. What I discovered is that there is a miracle that is already in all of us, and that it is my job to ignite it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh. I was like, miracle igniter, right? And so, as a part of all of that, it is okay. So, with that, what does that also mean? So, it means that you teach women and help women how to be the architects of their lives, right? You have to redesign and design your life, the way that you want to live, for the results that you want to have, for the peace, the love, the joy, the happiness, that we're all seeking. But, a lot of us are not quite there yet. So this is meant, and that's where the elevation effect comes from. This is meant to elevate women to that level where we're igniting miracles in their lives.
I love that so much.
All of that beautiful stuff comes out. Like I said, I had to go through the same process, and it all had to unfold, and I had to start to become in alignment with everything, because when you start to become in alignment, then the next piece comes, right? And then that unfolds, and then the next piece unfolds, and it's a multi-layered process that we all have to go through. So
yes, I love that. And Michelle is joining us. She says, hi, lovelies. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And for everyone else who isn't saying hi, that's totally fine too. We see that you're here and we're saying hi.
Yeah.
What does redefining success mean to you?
What redefining success means to me is taking off the mask, right? And so as women, we have been programmed, so to speak, to put on all of these different masks. The mask of the perfect woman, the mask of the perfect mother, the mask, if you're a woman in business, whether it be a career or your own business, the mask of the perfectly unemotional woman.
Yeah.
Right. And so when I started to go through this process myself, I said, oh my God, I just can't wear these masks anymore. I'm going to take them off.
Yes.
Right. Because I'm no longer going to live in this box that's been predefined. If I'm going to really live a life of peace and joy and be in alignment with my true purpose, and that means that I have to redefine success. And part of that is take off the mask.
Yes, I love that. And I definitely had that in my corporate world, where I was starting to see like all the different splits, like how I behaved in corporate versus when I started to get into my spiritual world, where I started to be like, I want to help people. And it was just like, I couldn't handle all the different society imposed boxes. And I'm like, I'm just going to be super authentic and just keep following this path. This one seems to lead to happiness, and it did. So I love that.
Yeah, because it's an energy sucker. It takes, what I discovered is it just takes way too much energy to go against the grain of who you really are. It really does.
Yeah, so true.
But in the world that we live in, how do you do that? Right? So part of this whole thing is to show women how to do it. Because that's where people get stuck, is the how. You say, oh, you need to redefine success. Oh, you need to detox your mind. Oh, you need to do all of these things. But, people, they have the what, but people don't have the how.
Right. Yeah. So true.
And even when they have the how, sometimes they still need someone else that's, traveled the path to hold their hand, to help them through that process, because it's scary, right? To make such large changes. So
yes, definitely. It's been incredible to have guides and mentors on my journey. I know I definitely would have gone a lot slower and had so much more procrastination if someone wasn't being like, I've done this, these are the pitfalls, like this is how you will avoid them, this is the one that's actually just going to happen to everyone, like be okay that this is going to happen, let's keep going.
Exactly. It's that person that holds your hand, that pushes you, that says it's okay, there's light on the other side, you're going to come out on the other side. You've got these peaks and valleys that you're going to go through, because there's change. You've got to get through your fears, you've got to get through doubts, you've got to, there's so many things that you have to do. This has to unfold. You have to develop faith and trust that the process is unfolding the way that it should. So that's scary for people, right? So then they kind of go, I don't know about this.
It's like, but you did it and your life's way better and I want some of that, so I'm going to do
that. Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're here for, right?
So how do you help people get their mindset to detox?
So the way that I help people get their mindset to detox is, first of all, you have to understand those negative beliefs that are holding you back from so many things, because a lot of negative beliefs are subconscious. Some of them are conscious, but the ones that hurt us the most are the subconscious ones that are playing in the back of our heads, and we don't even really realize they're playing. The ones that says, oh, you can't do it. Oh, that's not possible. Oh, that's not going to work out. People are not going to like you. People are not going to accept you, or you're not worthy. Those things sit deep in our subconscious and they play over and over again to us. So
Mm-hmm.
part of the mindset detox is to dig deep and go through some exercises to identify those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And once you can identify those things, what I like to do is help people attach those negative beliefs to the fears and doubts
Mm-hmm.
that have developed as a result, because all that has been, developed from those subconscious beliefs, no matter where they came from.
Mm-hmm.
Where they came from is not the point. It could be childhood trauma, it could be adult trauma, it could be just, wherever. The point is to identify them and then start to attack them, so to speak,
Yeah.
in a way where you overhaul all of those negative things. And then from that point, once you've identified those things, then what we work to do is to say, okay, so now let's rebuild,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
right? Let's rebuild confidence. Let's rebuild the attitude. Let's rebuild resilience. Let's
Yeah.
rebuild the just innate worthiness and authenticity, all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Let's dismantle this fear of rejection.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because what I've discovered along the way is, one of the biggest subconscious things that goes on with people is fear of rejection,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
which tends to drive it stops them from making majority of the positive changes that they could make in their lives, for just total transformation. So you
Yeah.
have to get over that.
Mm-hmm. And it's so interesting because like I deal with the subconscious mind all day long and help people clear those roots. And it's like the more you dig and dig and dig, it's like, why do you feel rejection and why and why and why and why and why? Like
Mhm.
end results is like dying or like being so different or being so alone and like not having value, not being on this earth. And it's like our subconscious minds have not evolved from the caveman time where you had a couple hundred people and if
Yeah.
they disowned you, if you were rejected by that tribe, you don't have enough time and energy in your day to like protect yourself from all the animals, to go get food, to build a shelter, to have clothes, to like be able to
Mhm.
store up for winter. You would literally die. So the fear of rejection is human in all of us. And
Yeah.
literally just trying to keep us safe. So to be able to like understand that and be like, okay, that's a beautiful thing it was trying to do. It doesn't
Mhm.
serve me here. Like I can go off on an island by myself and like go to Sobeys or whatever grocery store. Like it'll work. Like I can totally be self-sufficient as a one-person show, but that's not the
Yeah.
most thing to do. But it's like when you get down to it in a logic sense, to be like, yeah, that doesn't serve me for being that highest best version where I'm super happy in my life and doing the things that desire that are on my heart, where I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to be doing this because this is what my soul's here for. And it's like once they can see that and clear those things, they have so much more freedom to be like, oh yeah, like this is the only path for me.
Absolutely. I mean, there is nothing like the feeling of getting to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And what I try to help people realize is that, it's that old saying, there's a reason and a season for everyone. It has nothing to do with making enemies or just cutting people off or anything like that. But it has everything to do with realigning with your authentic self. And as you do that and you become more in tune and more intuitive, the right people are going to start to be attracted to you. You're going to come across those people, right? And at the end of the day, it's quality versus quantity.
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
Right. So like I said, you don't have to, it's not about making enemies with people, but it's about understanding, where you fit in this world and who are the people that you need to be closely surrounded with.
Yes. And like the people who will see your dreams and encourage you and cheer you on and not have their limiting beliefs of like, oh, all the fears be put onto you as you're making these changes.
Yeah, that is so true. And it's funny. I was talking to someone probably about a year or so ago, and as we were talking, I came up with similar to what you just said. I was like, yeah, you cannot let other people put their fears onto you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
They will layer you with all of their fears and all of their negative beliefs and, all of their masks that they think that you should wear. They'll it's just like a girlfriend that comes and says, "Oh, girl, this looks good on you." They'll like, "Oh, girl, here's one mask, here's another." And it's like they're like, "Oh,
Show
try
your
this mask on
shine,
for size."
restrict, not be who you are. Yeah.
Yeah, just try this on. It looks great on you, right? So yeah, definitely want to move past those types of things.
Definitely. And then how do you help people rebrand when they're like, oh my gosh, this is who I am and I want to like become this like next level highest and best good?
Yeah, and I call that Her Highness Igniter, where
Yes.
we're trying to get to, because there's a Her Highness sitting inside of each one of us, right? And the thing, after we go through this whole process of redefining success and the mindset detox, it's like, okay, now, I know a little bit more about who I am, for instance. And so let's then start to really get clear on your mission. Let's really get clear on your authentic brand as a person. You want to think about it like, this is who I am. This is a brand, because it gives us an opportunity to put it in this space where we can then start to execute on it. We can then start to build a plan. I help people by building a playbook. So it's your mission, your vision, putting together mantras that help you stay in that space, helping you to identify your power.
Yeah.
You have the power to make decisions. You have the power to make a change. You have the power to set boundaries. You have the power to wear your hair this way.
Yes.
You have the power to wear makeup, to not wear makeup. You have the power to express, what you feel, what you think. So those types of things, we start to put all of that together, identify all of those things, identifying your value, your values, so to speak. So, it's just like if you were to work with a branding person for your business, but this is more, it's a deeper, more holistic level of branding that is meant to help you be authentic and to stand in that and to ignite that. Yeah. And then a part of that is also, once we get through all of that and we understand everything and we lay out the playbook and, this is how we're going to go about that, because it's a process, right? Part of that is also, you have to then reteach people how to treat you.
Yes.
Coworkers, family. This is the new me, y'all, right? Me, right? And so, because that's another area that people will start to backpedal on.
Right.
Right? Because some of those old fears may start to creep back in. So the point of building a playbook and a plan and understanding and getting really clear on all of these things is so you're really confident in them and you know how to continue to stand and walk and show up in that truth.
And the more strong you are in your like new standards of life, the less pushback you get. Like, it's an energetic thing that I find time and time again with people. The more like fucking sure you are that like, this is who I am and this is how I'm showing up, the less people will like try to go against those boundaries. But if you're like, hey guys, I'm gonna like try to like not take calls after 10 o'clock because like I'm trying to like do self-care and like I don't want to be called at 2 a.m, like they'll feel that, versus like, I've decided that I'm going to have an awesome evening routine, so I'm not talking to anyone after 8. Like, it's a whole different energy than like shrinking and trying to like still kind of fit into their mold and still kind of be accepted. It's like, I'm going to fully and completely take control and like be in charge of my life and what I want to create with it. And these are the new standards. You can agree and stay in my life, or you can decide to not agree and be a toxic person, which I'm going to release from my life. Like, it's that decision that you have to make.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you will also find is not only will you start to have peace of mind, you'll start to experience, peace and joy and all of those things. You'll also start to see that you're inspiring other people. Some of those same people, you will inspire them, over time. You'll even inspire people that you don't even know. I mean, and I'm sure that you probably have this same experience as well. There's sometimes I have restaurants that I frequent. I'm a working nomad. It's like I have to change my scenery. So there's places that I go, and the people know me when I come in. But even the new people that start coming in, they're like, I just sense this, they come up and they talk to me and they're like, well, what do you do? So it's almost like you're giving off this energy of just, I'm living in my zone. And again, those people who should be in your space will be attracted to you.
Yes.
Don't do it.
And it's always like a scary time to be like, I have to let go of this to make space. But it's like this water bottle, like physical energetics. Like if this was currently filled with water, I couldn't try to put something else in there. That doesn't work. You have to make the space first for the new awesome people and Soul Tribe and people that like will 100% resonate with you in your business and your personal life and all areas. It's like you need to make those spaces for them to come in.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's such a great example. I love that example. So that's absolutely true.
Wonderful. And I'd love to start getting into the beautiful exercise. So everyone, I know that I can be like guilty of this too, of like listening to this in the background while like doing other things. So give yourself a couple minutes of this day to like stay present with this and do a couple of journal prompts to help us redefine our success so we can move forward right now.
Okay. So one of the first things that I want everyone to do, since, the first part of this is understanding the masks that you're wearing. And so I talked about, the mask of the perfect woman, the perfect wife, the perfect whatever. I want everyone to take a few minutes or a minute and just write down at least 3 to 5 masks that you think that you're wearing today, or that you have worn, even if you're interchanging them. They come in and out. Write those down so that you can start to understand what those are so we can take them off.
Yes.
Okay, about 10 to 20 more seconds. I think that's probably good enough to just identify a few more. Okay. So how was that for you, Laura?
Good. I wrote down some of the ones that I had to let go first, like back in like 2015 when I was like, nope. And then there's like one right now where it's like I'm definitely being called to step into like higher levels of like the sexual healing and empowerment that I'm doing. And I still have those fears of like being censored by Facebook because like it's happened and I've seen other women do those things. And it's like, those are pieces where I'm very aware of it. And I'm like, okay, cool. So let's like do the things that I can do and build email lists and other platforms where I can say what I want to say and other sex educators can say what they want to say without censorship. That would be an awesome thing. So that's still a thing where it's like a piece that hasn't fully come through yet, where it's like, I have so much more to share, but then I'm like nervous of Facebook or social media not liking it and blocking me or putting me on a ban and restricting me for a certain amount of time, which isn't fun when your business is mostly online.
Oh, yeah. That's really scary these days too, right? So yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, and that's great because, that's a segue into the next part of the exercise, which you've already identified some of those things. Identify some of the fears and doubts that you have that are associated with why you're wearing those masks.
Right. Yes. So powerful.
Okay, so we'll just take about a minute to do that as well.
Awesome.
And then we'll see what we come up with. see, just a few more seconds here, and that'll be enough. Okay, so Laura, you already shared some of yours. You know, some of mine at the time were just being vulnerable and open to criticism, right?
Yes.
Or some of these people, friends, associates that you already know, because I think a lot of people who have discovered that they're kind of different than what's considered the normal person or normal behavior. You know, when you talk about the things that even you and I are talking about today, I used to get the blank stare.
Right.
There wasn't even an answer. Like, people wouldn't even answer. They would just kind of go, and I was going, am I speaking English here? I started thinking maybe I wasn't speaking, you know, the right language or whatever. So, you know, just that vulnerability of when you start to become who you authentically are and you're taking off the masks, you know, there's the fears of vulnerability. You know, people stop calling you, people stop hanging out, people start whispering behind your backs, or you know, just feel awkward. So those are some of the things that I experienced, but it didn't take me long to say, okay, oh well. I mean, exactly, because when you make space, right, however that may be, you get more time. The right people start coming into your circle, your space, you know, opportunities, people that don't blank stare. And the one thing that I love is being able to connect with people of like mind.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's like, it's the greatest feeling ever. It's like when you go to, like, say for instance, you go to a lifestyle retreat for the weekend, and everybody has similar things that they're coming there for. When you get in that room with those people, it's just like, oh my God.
Soul
like
family.
this is like, oh, this is my tribe. This is my tribe. You know, so it's definitely, you know, that energy of connecting with people like mind. I mean, it will feed you and take you so far. So
yes, I agree. It's 100% worth it on the other side. Every single time you do it.
Yeah. Right. So then the next part of this is, you know, so we understand the masks. You understand a few fears and doubts. And what I would also like for you to do is to write down like 3-4 values that you have, that you know sit deep in your heart, like deep in your mind, that you feel like you're out of alignment with, because you're wearing all these masks and you're living life by the design of other people, right? Because when you do that, what it forces you to do is do things that you would normally do things that you're not comfortable with, right? So some of these things are not in alignment with your true core values.
Very true.
Right. So just think about a couple of those, and, you know, because those things are important to this whole process, because when you have values that resonate with you and they sit with you, they stay there regardless of whether or not you're living in those values. It's just like your authentic self, it sits in there.
Yeah,
definitely. And it's kind of scratching to get out, and it's kind of like this thing that's tugging. And sometimes until you lay it out and you start to identify those things, you know that something isn't right. You know that something is off, but you can't quite figure out what it is. So this kind of stuff is meant to trigger you to start understanding the space that you've been sitting in.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Laura, what are some of those for you?
It's kept me out of alignment from like speaking my truth. which is super important to me, and like showing up fully instead of like a fractionated masked version.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. It was similar for me, you know, because what would happen is when I would get those blank stares, or, you know, when you're talking about things where people are kind of going, I don't know about that, you start to dwindle back down, and you start to step away, you know, from who you are, from, you know, what you believe, you know, and even when you're at home and you're alone or whatever, you're still not able to live in that space, because day in and day out, you're living something different. You're living something that's not authentic. So, I mean, it resonates fully across the board. Yeah.
So powerful. And like being aware of you're out of alignment with your values can be a huge amount of leverage to move forward, to be like, this is who I am. Like, I'm making other people who are strangers or who may or may not really love me, who may just love this mask that I've been wearing for them. I'm letting their perceived thoughts and reality stop me from being me. Like, it's so crazy when you think of it that way.
Oh, absolutely. But it's not until you sit down and do what you and I have done, right? And really just kind of start to think through these things and let it unfold and identify them. And, you know, once you identify them, you have to acknowledge them, right? It's like you can't acknowledge, I mean, you can't change what you don't acknowledge. So this is all part of that process, you know, where you go, oh, I didn't know I was worried about that. Oh, that's not very good. That's not in alignment with blah, 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 you know, and now I realize how that's been making me feel. So, oh yeah, I think I want to change that.
Definitely. Yeah. Awareness is key. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And how can people connect with you after the show so that they can go deeper into this process?
Well, they can connect with me here on Facebook. They can send me a private message. And because what I am doing is a strategy session with people to help them identify some of these things up front, to go through some of these exercises, and then creating a blueprint for the next steps that a person needs to take. And so I can share, if I can get to, also you can schedule a call. I have a link somewhere here. And let me see if I can get my hands on that link. I'm one of those people who has so many windows open, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing that my computer doesn't crash.
Well, we've been sending a good energy because we had a little bit of a like waiting at the beginning to be like, okay, Mercury retrograde will send you so much grounding good energy. Just like make it creative awesome.
Yes. So I don't know. I've never used this. Is there a way to just send the link out? And this link goes straight to the calendar for a program that I'm currently featuring. So just don't worry about that. Just go ahead and look for a time slot and schedule it. And then we'll kind of go from there.
Wonderful. And you can put that in the comments after the show if it's not giving you access to it right now.
Okay, let's see. Let me try this.
And thank you guys so much for joining us today. I really appreciate you guys adding more value into your life and for sharing it out to other people who really need this beautiful message in their life so that they can release and let go of those old masks and those old identities that aren't serving them so that they can show up as their true self. And like this eclipse season is so powerful. I know I felt it and my clients have been feeling it. Like everyone's talking about it. Anything and everything that we can clear and let go during the season, everything that we can like release, like the death, will let us rebirth new incredible things and propel us forward exponentially. So like I super encourage you guys, if you're feeling called, like I've been clearing people and things in my closet and old beliefs and having more healing sessions. I'm taking full advantage of the supportive energy. I will clear and release and let go of anything. I was telling someone, I was like, if this freaking chair is between me and my soul and me starting the family and doing all the awesome, like high impact things, I'm like, I'm going to burn this chair. Like tell me like I will do whatever I need to do at this point to like leapfrog forward. So I really encourage you guys to move forward on your journey, how you're feeling called to, so that you can have these like exponential propelling energies to move you forward and supporting you on your journey. And Robin said, thanks. So thank you for joining and for doing that beautiful experience. I also encourage you guys, if you're feeling brave, to share how that was for you. And if you're like, oh, there was like something out of alignment for me there, and I can see how I'm ready to move forward and step into this next level version of yourself. So the Her Highness that's in your life, or goddess or queen, or like version 2.0, however you want to phrase that, that you can move forward and operate from that, from your highest self, because it's ready and waiting for you for this like most incredible life that you can choose to be living. So I'm sending you guys all so much love on your journey, and thank you so much for joining us today. And I'm sending you guys all so much love. Bye.
Bye.